Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about art and culture of India. So India is a land of diversity and here we will learn about what are different forms and types of the art and culture that is in existence in the country of India. So first of all, let us understand what is difference between art and culture. Art is the creative expression of one's experiences, emotions and other things. Art is one aspect of the culture. Art is influenced heavily by the culture and is born as a byproduct of culture, reflecting some of its custom beliefs, whereas culture is a wide variety of human behaviors. The evolved human capacity which act creatively and imaginatively and represent or classify experiences with symbols. So there will be different cultures and they will have different forms of art. Culture is the ensemblement of the social forms, material trait, customary beliefs, and human phenomena that cannot be directly attributed to a genetic inheritance or religion. So it is mostly in the form of religion, racial, or social group. Understanding of Indian art. Architecture has been described as the art of organizing a space functionally and beautifully. The character of Indian art is best described as plastic, organic, and sculptural. And so in ancient India, the art were not separated as they were unfortunately today. The architect, the sculptors, and the painters were often one man in earlier time. So now there is a segregation of the jobs and the roles of the persons doing different work. Qualities of Indian artist. If the Greek excels in the portrayal of the physical charm of the human body, the Egyptians in the grandeur of their pyramids, and Chinese in the beauty of their landscape, the Indian were unsurpassed in transmitting the spiritual content into their plastic form, embodying the high ideals and common belief of the people. Indian artists visualized the qualities of various gods and goddesses as mentioned in their scriptures and infused these qualities into their image. There were two qualities about which the Indian artist cared more than anything: the feelings of for volume and vivid representation, even at the risk of sacrificing at times anatomical truth or perspective. Indian art is a treasure house of ancient contemporary life, its faith, beliefs, customs, and manners. So we can divide the subject into three parts: visual art, performing art, and miscellaneous art. Visual art is the form of the art which we can see from eyes, like architecture, sculpture, poetry, painting. These are some of the visual arts which we can see and enjoy the aesthetics of the art through the eyes. Performing art like Indian music, dance forms, Indian theater and drama, Indian puppetry, Indian circus. These are some of the performing arts which is prevalent in India. Miscellaneous art forms can be in the form of language, religion, literature, cinema, calendars, philosophy, festivals, fairs, handicraft, institutions, math and science, medicine, and astronomy. Visual arts, Indian architecture, and Indian sculptures are very popular in the world. In the architecture, we find most of the architecture in the form of the ancient forts, ancient temples, ancient monuments. Sculptures, mostly in the form of the god, goddess figurines, can be found in India. So, comparison of sculpture and architecture. Architecture is the art of designing and making buildings, whereas sculpture is the art of designing 3D figures. Different type of materials are used, whereas in sculptures mostly single material use, sometimes mixture of materials can be used. Requires engineering skills, but sculptures in have artistic skills need. Architecture involves aesthetic appeals, sculptures involve creative appeal and visual appeals. For example, Taj Mahal, Konark Temple are example of architecture, whereas bronze dancing girl of Mohenjo-daro, Nataraj idols, etc. are sculptures. Combination of architecture and sculptures. In many of the ancient temples and monuments, you will find that architecture is in sculptures are in integral part of the architecture of the building. Indian architecture and sculptures can be divided into five broad categories: Indus Valley Civilization, Buddhist architecture and sculptures, which is mostly during the Mauryan period, temple architectures during Gupta period, sculptures of South Indian Indo-Islamic architecture and medieval architectures, and then modern architectures and sculptures. So these are the five broad divisions of the periods or the Indian art, architecture and sculptures. Indus Valley civilizations is famously known for town planning, public bath, granaries and dockyard. Sculptures were found like bronze and terracotta sculptures, seals, stone sculptures, and in miscellaneous sections we have found ornaments and pottery in the Mohenjo-daro. Indus Valley architectures were mostly influenced by indigenous art, no influence of outside, different from ancient and medieval architecture, no integral use of sculptures in the buildings. Concentration of utility factors rather than artistic factors. Decorative embellishment may lost over time, but mostly they were utilitarian in nature. Town planning in the 3rd millennia BC, one and around Indus Valley Bank. Walled cities for security reason, no evidence of temple or any religious sculpture were found. Burnt brick was widely used for construction of houses. Roads were wide and at right angle to each another. Rectangular grid pattern of the housing layout was there. Existence of assembly hall, workshop, hostels and marketplaces can be found in the city plans. Two parts of the city were like the citadel, upper part of the elite class, dominant citadel suggests some kind of political authority, and non-citadel lower part for the common people, for marketplace and for residential use. Houses were built of clays, fixed size, use of stone and wood were also found, include bath, upper story and well, so mostly two-story building were found. Evidences of big buildings, public buildings or administrative or business centers were also found. Public bath, tank type stairs, small rooms along with the bath, importance of the rituals bathing, importance of cleanliness, and the great bath of Mohenjo-daro is still functional, no leakage or crack were found. Granary were found in the citadel. Intelligent construction strategy for air duct and platform were created. Drainage system were very efficient, almost like modern system. Temporary covered drains cleaning for cleaning purposes was also found. Dockyard of Lothal. The dockyard was located away from the main city, and it was speculated that the Lothal engineers studied tidal movement and their effect on the brick burnt structure since the wall was of the clean burnt bricks. The dock with a canal opening to allow water to flow into the river, maintaining a stable water level. The dock also possessed a lock gate system. A wooden door could be lowered at the mouth of the outlet to retain a minimum column of the water in the basin so as to ensure flotation at the low tide. Indus Valley sculptures were found mostly in the form of the seals, square, rectangular, circulars, sometimes, and few are cylindrical pieces of stones. Every size was 2 into 2 inch. Stones, soft silver river stones were used, static copper and terracotta were used, decorated with animal motif and sometimes ancient animals. Pictographic script was on both sides of the seals. Some gold, silver, and ivory seals were also found during the excavation of the site. A script was pictographic along with the animal impressions which are yet to be deciphered. Directions of writing were right to left. Seals of Pasupati was famous, and this seal shows a seated figure of yogi, probably Shiva or Pasupati, surrounded by four animals: rhino, buffalo, elephant, and a tiger. There are two deer shown under the throne. Pasupati means the lord of animals. Religion of the Harappan is most of these seals have a knob at the back through which runs a hole, and it is believed that they were used to be different guild or merchants and traded for stamping purpose. Purpose of the steel unit of trade and commerce found in Mesopotamia. Copper seal is an emulate proof. Some seals and small holes in the upper side is a educational tool. Pi is shown in one of the seal. Example: Pashupati seal, Lord Shiva type deity. Unicorn seal was also found. Terracotta sculptures like the sculpture of Mohenjo-daro was adapted in art and fashion could realistically as well as stylistic. Technique handmade was used. Pinching method were used. Famous figures were found as mother god from Mohenjo-daro or worshipped for fertility and prosperity. Toy cart like the toy animal with a movable heads were found. Birds and animal figurines were found. Terracotta figure of a small bull, pairs of squirrels, very natural and characteristic fashion, sealed on their haunches and nibblings were also found. Bronze sculptures were found like most of the techniques was wax made, used for bronze casting. The wax figure was covered with the coating of the clay, then allowed it to dry. Then it was heated and molten wax was allowed to drain out through a tiny hole at the bottom of clay curve. The hollow mold is then filled with bronze or any other metal. Once the metal is cooled, the clay is removed and the sculpture is ready. Mohenjo-daro site where Kalevanga, Harappa, Devamath bronze dancing girl was also found as Mohenjo-daro. Necked sculptures of women only wearing ornament were also found. Bangles, necklace, amulet, and particular hairstyle were also found in the Mohenjo-daro. Figure shows female dancing figurines was found in abundance and with different postures. Stone sculptures were found as bearded priest from Mohenjo-daro wearing a shawl with the fateful pattern. It bears a close resemblance to similar figure discovered in the Sumerian Ur and Suram. Male torso made of the red limestone were also found from Harappa, remarkable for its naturalistic pose and sophisticated modeling. Highlighting its physical beauty, the head and the arms of the figure were carved separately and socked into the drilled hole of the torso. The figure of the male dancer belonged to the same period and discovered at Harappa. Ornament during the Harappan period, use of the ornament by both male and female were found. Large variety of the materials, precious metal, gems, and baked clay was also found. Some unisex ornaments, necklace, armlet, etc. were also found. Evidence of dead bodies with ornament was also found. Spinning of cotton in wool was probably done during that time. Consciousness of fashion, silver was used as a cosmetic. Variety of domestic lipstick or eyeliner, face paints probably was used. Pottery, red and black pottery were found. Use of the two color red and black was prominent in the pottery. Background color used to be red. To draw some design, black color was used. Hence the name black and red pottery can be given. Not handmade but wheel made were found. Some plain pottery which were more common. Some painted pottery with beautiful design were also found in the excavation. Use of the pottery was mostly for the household purpose, for decoration purpose. Proof some very small sized pottery were also found. Can't be used for household or storage purpose, but might be used for toy or token. Perforated pottery for straining liquor might be used. End of the Indus Valley civilization. The Indus Valley came to an end in about 1500 BC, probably due to the Aryan invasion of India. Except for some antiquities of the copper, hoard culture, and ceramic, no trace of any plastic art is found during the next 1,000 years. This may perhaps be due to perishable materials like wood, which could not withstand the rigor of the time. The carving of the flat surface Barhot and Sachi are echo of the ancient tradition of the wood or ivory, but this intervening period of the 1000 year is an important because it was during this time that the synthesis took place between the fertility cult of the Dravidian, who were the original inhabitant of India, and the Aryan element of the rites and rituals, which later gave rise to Vedic period, which we will discuss in the next lecture. Thank you. Thank you for discussion.